It's really interesting, and it raises a whole lot of issues that we're concerned about with the editorial team of the journal, and that we discuss on an ongoing basis. So thank you very much. It really raises a lot of issues that we talk about in the journal, and talk about on an ongoing basis. You saw that I put up the list of ethical principles. Ethical principle number 7 was the one I drew your attention to, which is really our goal to try and open up space to scholarship that hasn't been published before, both in terms of topic areas, but in terms of the origins of the thinking. And that does translate very much as non-Western, certainly non-Anglo-American style of research. Having said that, of course, there are the conventions of the publishing industry. We are not completely free to do what we want to do. And in particular, you raise the issue of the English language. It is a huge hegemonic, institutionalised factor that whatever cultural background you come from, if you want to publish in these journals, you have to translate yourself into English and translate yourself into a particular style of research and writing. And so I would say with the Journal of Business Ethics, you do have a greater opportunity than with many other journals because of our size and because of our breadth of disciplinary areas to do something radically different. And with the sections that I would suggest that you would identify yourself with would be probably critical studies in business ethics, possibly feminism in business ethics, possibly indigeneity in business ethics. There we have scholars who are not just themselves undertaking alternate, methodological and philosophical, pedagogical positions, but also really trying to open space for others. We, at this stage, can't do anything about the idea that it still has to be in English, though I have agreed that one of my things that I would love to have done at the journal that we haven't quite managed to do is to run a special issue in Urdu, because that's where we have a lot of expertise within our editorial team, and it's a language that can be read by many different language speakers. But to do that, we would have to have editors, reviewers, do the whole thing through, and then translate it into English at the end, rather than having it in English and, say, translating it into the language that it should have been written in. I don't think that it's something that we're going to achieve, but I hope it gives you small comfort that it's stuff that we think about and talk about. In terms of writing differently, that's a conversation that's been had not just at the Journal of Business Ethics, but in many critical and feminist journals. And there are papers that have been published on it that if you want to try and write differently, you can cite in order to make a methodological argument for what you're doing, that you're not just sort of randomly doing something for the sake of being unconventional. So it's a high-risk strategy. You could, I think it's very important, as I say, to choose the section to which, so the Journal of Business Ethics is very unusual in that you don't submit to a general pool, you submit directly to a section. So there are some very mainstream sections and very mainstream editors that if a paper like that would hit the deck, it would just be, I don't understand this. Hopefully they would understand well enough to transfer it on. But I think that it's for the Journal of Business Ethics, understanding what section you're submitting to, and what how much you can sort of exercise the edges, the boundaries within that section would be an important thing to do. You might also try to contact that particular editor beforehand and see if they would give you some feedback. Generally, if you write to the Journal of Business Ethics, if you write to me and ask for a pre-submission evaluation, I'll have to tell you no, predominantly because I cannot provide expertise across all of our various sections, nor can I for the numbers, but you might find that an individual editor might respond to you. So I hope that gives you a number of strategies of how to approach the journal with very interesting sort of work that it sounds like you're doing. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Very informative information related to the questions. So we still have one.